Hello, my name is Hermione Michaela Ani of Grade 12 ABMC2 and I am here today to present my social change project in partial fulfillment of my requirement in empowerment technology. To start, I will be talking to you about discrimination in the workplace. Discrimination is one of the largest types of social problems that every country faces. One of the leading types of discrimination that affects citizens in different ways is workplace discrimination. As I further discuss, let me present you my proposed issue. This contains the basic description about the topic. This paper examines the practices that needs to acquire in order to have a well-organized workforce and environment. This also discusses about the right ways on how to treat people equally. Workplace discrimination discriminates both directly and indirectly by looking into people's age, race, sexuality, beliefs, gender, and even disability. The researcher chose discrimination in the workplace as a topic for the social change for everyone to be engaged in what this actually intends prior to all places in the world that discrimination plays an important issue in a society. Discrimination in the working environment is a problem that needs to be addressed that businesses face each day. Not just those individuals who work in the work environment, yet additionally others around the globe. Consistently, individuals get discriminated against due to their sex, skin tone, blemishes, and so forth. Segregation implies abusing an individual and outlining bias. Numerous working environment separation types leave representatives feeling hazardous, undermined, awkward, and biased against work. In the workplace, managers are ordered by law to shield their representatives from separation in the work environment. While the business can cause bias, it is likewise brought about by different specialists. It is as yet your obligation as a business to forestall separation in the work environment. There are many detailed estimates that you can take and strategies that you can execute to stay away from separation in your working environment. Another great practice to forestall working environment separation is to speak with your representatives reliably. It helps acquire criticisms on their work experience and if they have encountered segregation first and or seen it at work. Inviting ongoing correspondence will help your workers feel more good handing off their interests. It likewise consoles them that you have their well-being as a primary concern. To forestall segregation in your working environment, stay favorable to dynamic and far-reaching training on variety, and set up a receptive work environment climate. In its most noticeably terrible structure, separation can detrimentally affect a worker and the organization in general. In addition, one way to execute this certain issue is by conducting policies before welcoming workers in order for them to be fully familiar with their do's and don'ts as a citizen. Everything hovers back to the exemplary brilliant guideline standard. Next, for the project pitch, with the question, why does discrimination in a workplace occur? This aims to keep team focused and continuing to work toward a collective purpose for the workplace, remembering that each person is entitled to equal opportunity. Each person is to be treated equally in terms of being hired or fired from a job, as well as treatment when working for a company and receiving the same level of benefits. This cruel act of workplace discrimination is a serious issue that needs change and to be stopped immediately by current companies by embracing diversity and not discriminating directly and indirectly. RRL, or the Review of Related Literature. This is a detailed review of existing literature related to a topic of a thesis or a certain paper. I have gathered 3 foreign and 3 local literature in order to have a lot of sources in defining other meanings of discrimination in a workplace. In an overall sources, the authors had a lot of similarities that defines the deeper explanation about workplace discrimination. Honestly, I have a total of 6 articles that I find so much related in my topic, but I will just give you 2 of the articles I researched for. From the foreign literature, this article is from Falconer. This states that employers and employees can be both liable for acts of discrimination which happens in connection with work. In short, this means that a claim for discrimination can be brought against the employer as an organization, but claims that can also be brought personally against individuals. Sometimes, employers can be liable for the acts of their employees even though the employer did not set out to discriminate against anyone themselves. When this happens, it is known as vicarious liability. Vicarious liability may be avoided if the employer can show they took all reasonable steps to try to prevent discrimination from occurring in the first place. For the local literature, we have from Costello and Mains, and they said that one of the most common ways in which discrimination affects an employee is the use of their sick or personal days. In order to escape the discrimination, an employee might rack up their sick days by failing to report to work. Being absent from work can cause an employee to quickly fall behind on their deadlines, thus leading to stress and nervousness about completing projects. Employees who are the victim of discrimination at work might also have trouble interacting with their coworkers, even those who are not causing the discrimination. This includes not being able to take part in jovial conversation, not looking coworkers in the eye, and difficulty smiling while at work. Victims of workplace discrimination often deal with emotional issues. They might begin to doubt themselves or wonder why they work, where they work. Their stress and anxiety levels could become so high that they need to take prescription medications. High stress and anxiety levels can also lead to physical issues with overall health and well-being. This actually means that discriminating other people can really cost them a lot. Having the sense of not being able to work well because of the discrimination they are facing each day. It's hard, most especially dealing with people who doesn't know what they say and what they think of other people. Working in a corporate ladder or any organizations only aims to have a proper treatment and equal opportunity for all. Next, a statistical data presentation of discrimination in a workplace. This shows the percentage of number of people who have been experiencing this issue and people who experience such in their workforce. I have come up with the 3 data presentation in order to see how discrimination in a workplace occurs. The first presentation is all about individuals who have been discriminated by their characteristics, including disability with 33.4%, race with 33%, sex with 32.4%, age with 21.4%, color with 4.7%, and lastly, religion with 3.7%. All of these are the number of individuals who deals discrimination by their appearances and their characteristics. Second presentation is about the percentage of men and women who feel they've been discriminated in a workplace. A total of 23% to all women and 28% to all men. This sums up that women are less violated or discriminated in the workforce while men have a higher percentage of feels that they have been discriminated. And lastly, for the third presentation, it represents the percentage of British workforce being bullied at work. The findings revealed that 23% of the British workforce has been bullied at work. 25% have been made to feel left out in the workplace, while 12% admitted to struggling to make friends in their place of work. These are some of the data I have gathered in relation to the topic about discrimination in a workplace. Moving forward to the concept paper that includes the introduction, mission, vision, purpose, and a little more description about the topic. Workplace violence varies from discriminatory practices in that it includes pessimistic measures taken against an employee due to various characteristics like nationality, sexuality, and so on, which result to a major lawsuit. So although prejudice includes unfair pay or restricting of possibilities because of certain characteristics, physical harassment or abuse addresses topics that cause offense or culturally provide an employee or team of employees as well as behaviors that negatively impact the person's personal or collective job task. These motives are frequently designation and asynchronous discussion, and routinely over moment. The acts committed and the employee's tolerance to them can differ cultural characteristics. Next, the mission of this paper is to be one of the advocates who promotes in removing work discrimination in an organization. Also, this is to provide suggestions or recommendations for avoiding the social injustice inside the business. The long-term vision is for unity, partnership, and development. To serve as an alternative to formal solution, we open source blueprints and make modding and simple and inexpensive, enabling the change to propagate naturally, especially inside the workplace of an organization. For its purpose, this aims to organize who experience discrimination in a workplace and to provide solutions actions needed for their issues. It also aims to avoid the suffering of an employee caused by violence and harassment of others by providing knowledge and information about the said topic. To have a little more description, this elaborates about the direct and indirect treatment of an employee and employer that leads to having discrimination. In addition, research has demonstrated a variety of such unethical competition confronted by construction persons, ranging from separating but excludes socio-economically deprived employees from work. Environment events or activities to exposing the others to incredibly aggressive thoughts and reactions. Now, to the materials that I have used, this contains the logo, cover photo, infographics, and the other graphic designs that I use as you can see in the picture. If you might ask why did I come up with this logo and cover photo, the reason for this occurrence is very simple. I wanted to show that I am standing against discrimination and most importantly, I am raising equality to all the people I will encounter. The logo and cover photo only has its one meaning, an acceptance to all the people around us and igualdad or equality to everyone. The infographic presents a guide for employers in preventing workplace discrimination. This contains the purpose, who and what are the protected characteristics, the types of discrimination, how to minimize the risk of discrimination, and lastly, the policy checklist that employers should ensure to prevent discrimination. Other designs only discussing more about discrimination. I also included quotes and pledge that will help people to see the real value of this ethics in the whole world. I hope that all of this will be heard and applying this to our daily lives. For the next slides, I will be showing site statistics that I have gathered since the first day I created the page in Facebook. So yes, here's the page that I did to raise awareness and to extend the learnings that I want to share with a lot of people. For the overview, we can see the people that have reached my post and also the engagement of it. For the page insights, we can see the progress of the page views, page likes, post reach, story reach, engagements, post engagement, videos, and the page followers of every post I created for my page. A little more detailed information about the post reach. That graph simply illustrates the progress of my post or my page from day 1 up until now. We can see an up and down progress. Also for the likes, we can see that we have a total of 101 likes for all the posts I made. I hope I can reach with more people soon. To everyone who have been visited my page, thank you. And for everyone who doesn't know my page, feel free to visit it. As I end, here's my personal profile for your reference. I am a senior high school student who is an aspiring flight attendant. I hope that all of the things I have shared for today may simply be memorable to everyone and to keep you reminded that we stand against discrimination and we promote equality. Always remember that equality is not a luxury, it is a requirement. To achieve this, we need to change our way of thinking to install a new philosophy. This is your speaker for today, signing off. Thank you and God bless.